You see, I love sports. Baseball, football, basketball, you name it, I watch it. All of them, I love them all. But the truth is, none of them even come close to playoff baseball. I mean, there's more upsets in baseball than any sport every season. And I think that this postseason is going to be an exact example of that. So many different teams right now that just hardly snuck into the playoffs look like to me some of the best World Series candidates. And starting off this bracket, we have the Blue Jays Twins series in the AL. The Twins had a record of 87-75 this season, and the Blue Jays had a record of 89-73. Overall, 2-game difference, but to me, there's much more than just 2 games, right? There's a much bigger gap in this record. Reason being, the Blue Jays are in a division with the Orioles and the Rays, 2 of the best teams in baseball, compared to the Twins, who literally have no competition in their division. Therefore, the Twins were kind of handed a playoff berth, but Blue Jays, on the other hand, had to fight. But there are also several other factors when evaluating the 2 teams. The Twins have one of the best 1-2 punches, I think, for the entire postseason. You got Pablo Lopez in Game 1, and in Game 2, you get Sonny Gray. Overall, those are 2 of the toughest guys in baseball, and the Blue Jays are firing right back, right? I mean, they have Kevin Gausman going. They have a really nice team all around. Gausman versus Lopez is going to be a very interesting game, but I think in the end, this series is going to belong to the Blue Jays. I think they're the better team, and I do think that the record would show it if the Twins were in a much harder division like the Blue Jays are. I do think that the Twins could win off of good pitching, but they really need Lopez to step up big time. I think Sonny Gray's for sure going to have a very good game, but I do think Pablo Lopez, you need a good outing out of him. In the end, the Blue Jays are going to be taking on the Astros in the ALDS. The next series we're going to go over is the Rangers and the Rays, and to me, this one is actually the easiest to predict. I'm going to go ahead and say the Rays come out on top, and it's a pretty simple answer why, right? The Rangers pitching is ass. I mean, it's really bad. And then you have the Rays, where they have very good pitching. So, bad pitching with the Rangers, good pitching with the Rays. What do you think is going to happen? Bad pitching will not take you anywhere in the playoffs, and it makes it worse too for the Rangers because the Rays are pitching a few really good arms. Of course, pitching Tyler Glasnow and also pitching Zach Eflin. Eflin had a great postseason last year for the Phillies, and without him, the Phillies would not have been able to go on that run that they did. He stepped up big time, and I would imagine he does the same. Whereas the Rangers, they're in a very bad spot right now, at least I think with the pitching, right? Obviously, no DeGrom, no Scherzer. You are in a bad spot. Montgomery has been the leader for that pitching rotation, but Nathan Eovaldi has been just so bad, and the bullpen has been so bad. I think the Rangers get eliminated here in the wild card, meaning that the Rays go ahead and take on the Orioles in a ALDS series. Now, the NL side of things, on the other hand, to me are really the series to keep an eye on. The wildcard slate specifically is really loaded and could go either way. Diamondbacks Brewers is going to be a very fun series, at least I think, right? The Brewers have awesome pitching, and pitching is what wins you postseason games. Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta, yeah, that's going to be super tough for the Diamondbacks, who have only scored 3 runs in their last 4 games. You heard that right. The Diamondbacks have scored 3 runs in 4 games. I just don't see the Diamondbacks offense actually waking up against some of the top pitching in the league. Hey, who knows? Maybe they surprise me, but the truth is, the Diamondbacks are a very weird team, right? They're one of the weirdest teams in baseball. 1 minute they're red hot, then they're ice cold, then they're red hot again. I mean, the Diamondbacks are just weird, and I wouldn't be surprised if they even made a run at winning this series. But in the end, I do believe that this is the Brewers series. For our last series, we have the Marlins and the Phillies, and this one's really interesting. I could see this one going either way. Like, truthfully, this is the weirdest one. I know there were actually plenty of Philly fans who did not want the Marlins, right? All year, Aaron Nola has been hit around by the Marlins, whereas Zach Wheeler has actually been able to pitch very well against the Marlins. To me, it sounds like you really need Aaron Nola to step up big time in this series. Does he do it? I'm not sure, right? The Marlins have Jesus Luzardo and Braxton Garrett in Game 1 and 2, and honestly, if this were in Miami, I would probably take the Marlins here, and I'm very tempted to right now. Citizens Bank Park for the Phillies, so the Phillies are going to be home. And knowing what the Phillies did last year, it's so tough to go ahead and root against them. But I do believe the Marlins pull off a massive upset and the Marlins win this series. Now, as far as where they go from there, they lack pitching depth, so we'll see. But I think the Phillies get upset and Aaron Nola is never going to be a Philly ever again. Anyways, that's probably all I have for you guys today. That's the wildcard matchups. We'll see what ends up happening, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and peace out.